It looks beautiful.
Ta-da! We should be live.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now we'll see
Actually,
if
this
we
looks
can get.
great.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
If I go over here and I turn that on. I should even see your chat. You should be live. Turn on the sound. There you go. And I might be the only viewer I have. That's all right. Hey! I cheat, Dark. I've got dark matter in the chat, and basically what I'm doing is I'm cheating. I can never find the damn chat window any other way, but I have 2 accounts because I have 2 channels, and so I am cheating by bringing up the chat through Creepy Karma. So if you see Creepy Karma in chat, that's me. I am doing good, Dark. A little disappointed in another group that I'm in right at the moment. They've got some kind of drama going on. I totally understand why they have drama, because the gals have been through an awful lot. But their method of trying to nail down the trolls and the stalkers that they've had is... I've been a big fan of them for a very long time, and I was one of their mods until somebody decided that I was subscribed to somebody that they didn't like, and suddenly I wasn't a mod, and people weren't talking to me anymore, and I didn't know what was going on until somebody said, "We think you're associated with such and such. I've heard rumors that you're a fan of so and so," and just a bunch of McCarthyism and insanity. And God bless them, I understand why they're paranoid. Just because they're paranoid doesn't mean that there aren't people out there trying to get them, because there have been. But yeah. The methods are highly reprehensible, sadly. Oh, good. I need another one. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. It just makes me sick, because these are good people just using bad methods. They're good people. And I understand why they've had a whole lot of shit come down around their ears, and I totally get that. And I understand that they're paranoid, but this is just very sad. But oh well, on to happier things. I guess it's just you and me and a cup of coffee, huh? I don't see anybody else sneaking in. Hey, Strange Destiny. Good morning. We thought it was going to be just me and Dark there for a bit. Hey, Dark, you want me to invite you in? You might have to tell me how. Yeah, that might be true too. Good for you, Strange Destiny. We should all stay on our toes. And in some cases, just kick butt where needed. Yeah, there's a whole lot of gray in this head anymore, but I was born a redhead. Been known to kick some booty if I had to. In fact, I had a 6 foot something ex-husband who thought smacking me would be a good idea. And the first time he hit me, he didn't hit me that hard, and I had been argumentative. And I was thinking, well, I might have been wrong, but don't you hit me again. And the second time I said, it's the last time I'm going to tell you, don't hit me again. Well, the third time, he'd been out all night, hadn't called. I was calling police stations before he got home. I started considering what hospitals were local to see if he was all right. Comes in the door, smacks me and tells me I'm not his mother. Then he found out what 5'4" and 110 pounds could do to him. He never hit me again. I'm little, and I may not win, but you don't, just don't do me physically, because I've made lunch meat bigger. I can guarantee it. No, there's no excuse for violence. In fact, one of my friends mothers actually, once said, well, Jamie's a smart girl. She knows that violence is the tool of the ignorant, but watch out, boy. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that if somebody's going to get violent, Jamie can get damned ignorant. She was right. I don't like violence. I don't like being involved in it. I have been in situations where it was the only answer, and fortunately, I'm still alive to tell about it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Uh, Dark Matter said that he loved my hair today. I tie it up most of the time because it can get quite wild. It can get very wild. I keep thinking I'm going to either cut it or color it. And I caught a lot of shit talking about cutting it, so I guess I'm just going to have to color it. And I don't mind it getting gray. I just mind it looking dirty. And it's got to that dirty color, so. Absolutely, Strange Destiny. She says, my ex-husband hit me once. He learned not to after that. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. We don't have to put up with that shit. And I feel for the gals who do the oh poor me thing and oh don't hurt me, because I'm like, you're not going to hurt me. it's a big difference in attitude. Yes. I have the hair down to my patoot as well. And you get a lot of the humidity here in Ohio. So when it decides to go on a frizz binge, yeah, frizz out to here. Yeah, how do I do that? Let's see if I can do this. I bet I can. I bet I can. I bet I can. No, that's screen share. Ooh. Can I see it now? Nope. Control room. Yes. No, I don't want to do that. Adjusting. Nope, that's not what I want either. Okay. How do I invite you in? How do I invite you in? Thanks, Strange Destiny. Yes, I am in Ohio. I'm in Cincinnati. How about you? I know, I keep looking over there, but that's where the other screen is. Oh, darn. Well, it would have been more fun with you, Dark, that's for sure. Oh, it's pretty early for a lot of folks. I mean, a lot of people are headed off to work. Retired old farts like me don't do that anymore, which is kind of a mixed bag of nuts. Sometimes I wish I did work still, but I don't need the frustration of doing customer service anymore because the way I was doing customer service was over the phone or through chat or whatever, and people don't see your face. They really feel like they can do or say anything to you, and it doesn't matter. You're not really a real person. Uh, yeah, I'm a real person. Hey there, Texas Little Star. How you doing? Oh, well, it still makes you a neighbor. That's still in the neighborhood. Strange Destiny. She's in Pennsylvania. I've seen better days. How do you invite someone in? I want to know. I want to know. Well, some of the shout outs I wanted to do, one is Dark Matter, because really I wouldn't be as close to 200 without his channel, and Granny Monster. Big shout out to Granny Monster, wherever she is this morning. And of course, we're going to shout out Strange Destiny and Texas Little Star 63. They both have channels and they are both worthwhile. I also want to shout out Vape It Up, where I pick up most of my stuff here in town. They are a great vape shop and a lot of great help. They'll definitely educate you on anything you don't know and anything you want to know about vaping. Thumbs up, people. And I was going to shout out some paranormal shows, but I think I'm going to pass on that for the moment. I've got instructions on how to invite people in on your PC. Okay. Oh, that's just to see the chat? Okay. Oi, 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 oi. Let's see if I can do that. Minimize this. Oop. Too much. Too much. Okay. Aha. Now I see you here. Woo. Aha. Now I see you here. Woo. And now I have to shut off my sound. There we go. As long as the sound's off, you won't get all that echoey insanity. Okay. Now I'm just running everything through one window here. Yes, much easier. Much, much. Well, running it through the other computer. Hey, Crimson Fantasy. I saw some of your stuff today, and that was totally awesome. What do you use to create those awesome videos, Crimson? Hey, it might actually look like we're doing a real live stream now. My dog is down here driving me crazy. I know you've all seen my cat. I'm afraid to pick up my dog because, like, he's a long little dummy and he doesn't do that well. Woo! He's a dachshund, and he's keeping my legs warm. Well, can you hop up here? Can you hop up here? I'm inviting you to hop up here. Come in. Come in. Come in. Yes, you can hop up in my lap. It's like you never let me hop up here. Goodness, 3 editors to do his videos. Well, that explains why they're so freaking awesome, Crimson. He uses the Climb Master Viva Video and Video Shop, and he uses different editors for different effects. And I could make this easier on myself too by let's see. bigger because I'm an old lady and I'm half blind. There we go. Oops, no. Too big, too big. The other way. There we go. Okay. You'll have to talk to Granny and see if she knows how it is a question I get asked every day. Josh, smash the thumbs up. I can use all the help I can get. Hey, Bostar, how are you? Bostar Crow entered the room. I have a cheater back here. I can actually make a cup of coffee. There we go. More coffee coming. Your tutorials, there we go. Your tutorials rock, Dark Matter, Dark Star. Where did that come from? I don't even know a Dark Star. Okay, but yeah, they rock. They're the only reason I'm online at all. I mean, live. You too? I'll tell you what. I have been so much an insomniac. Texas Little Star said she'd been up all night. Yeah, that's my life lately. Uh, there are times when I can sleep 6 hours straight. And then I think, wow, that's a full night's sleep. And then other times it's like, I don't know. I'll sleep 2 hours. I'll lay down and my eyes are like glued. They just pop open and I'm like, so yeah, sleeping has not been my friend. I have a ghost video that I'm supposed to be editing. I'm beginning to think that that was a very masochistic plan. I would love to be able to sleep 9 to 12 hours. Whenever I'm dealing with pain, strange destiny, I'm the same way. I may hibernate if I'm ill, and literally hibernate. I can almost sleep 24 hours straight when I'm sick. That's one of the ways my husband knows that he should try and convince me to go to a doctor is if I'm sleeping too much, then I must be ill again. So yeah, I nap. I don't sleep either. I just nap. If I sleep 2 hours straight, that's normal. And then get up and do whatever, and maybe I don't sleep for the rest of the night. And then I'll go and I'll nap for 3 or 4 hours, and that's normal. Star says the wife won't let me sleep, LOL. Somehow I have the feeling that isn't always a bad thing. when I'm in pain, strange destiny, there for the longest time I had some kinetic issues. If I was in pain, occasionally it was a bad thing for me to play on the computer because I blew things up. I couldn't be around radios. I couldn't be around television sets. I couldn't be around toasters. I couldn't be around. If I were angry, in pain, if it was extreme, then shit blew up. So one of my friends, who's actually my cousin, taught me how to do self-hypnosis. And so I started knocking myself out whenever I was in pain. And now it's just habit. I lay down, I don't feel good, I knock out. And it's a whole lot easier on electronics. It's a whole lot less expensive than the other crap. True enough, strange destiny. We'll sleep enough when we're dead. Yeah. Or not. I mean, I don't know if you saw my little preview for Creepy Karma that I posted up on this channel. That I was sitting there and somebody went right by me here. And it's not that hard, believe it or not, strange destiny. In fact, there's a lot of good videos out there on YouTube that are just things that you can do to relax yourself, and then the rest is just let it happen. All right, Dark Matter, thank you for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Sitting here blowing smoke into the only time I really couldn't knock myself out was when I was having lots and lots of trouble with my teeth. There's nothing worse than a toothache. Absolutely nothing. Join in what? Maybe Granny Vapes would like to join too. What am I joining? Jazz grass. Is that the new word for wacky tobacco? I would love to join on Saturday night shout outs. I'm just never home for them. Saturday nights are the only nights when I take off with friends. When I have something called real life, I really don't socialize much, so they haven't let me cut out of it. Of course, I can always get them to come in here and be a part of my insanity right here in the home. I'm either fixing supper for everybody else or taking off with them somewhere. When I had my wisdom teeth taken, these two were impacted and they wanted to take them, and the other ones were coming out this way. So, yeah. I certainly would. I certainly would let you know, Dark Matter. Absolutely. Big hugs, Dark. What I'm vaping on today, it's this part of it is brand new. It's called the Pulse. I've got some pictures I'm going to put up of the build I stuck in here and everything later on. But this is a new one by my friend Tony, who does the Vapor Trail channel, I think is the name of his channel. And I'll tell you what, he did a freaking awesome job. This thing delivers flavor. It's a squonker, so I can put it on this old mod. This old mod is a Kangertech 160 drip. And it had pretty much started sitting on the shelf because, you know, it was an older mod, and I didn't have 20 tons of options with it, and it delivered good flavor, but I had other things and da-da-da-da. But with this, since I got the Pulse, it's almost all I've been using. I mean, the flavor in it's awesome. I can rebuild it. I don't have to buy coils for it. Well, I do buy coils for it because I don't build coils for it. But it's just a single coil. Unreal. Just unreal flavor, unreal vapor. Perfect vape for me. Love it. So you're going to attempt your first live stream? Awesome. Your vape pen broke. What kind of vape pen were you using? Well, I kill vapes all the time. I'm a chain vapor. You've probably caught on to that. I mean, I go through 30 milliliters or more a day, which is why I make a lot of my own. In fact, I just made a big bottle of this one's strawberry ice cream. And I made 100 mils, and I probably have 60 left out of this big bottle. And I just made that yesterday. And then I made 30 millimeters of a, this one's watermelon and strawberry kiwi mostly, with a little bit of cream to it. What kind of vape pen were you using, Strange Destiny? Okay, so the small piece fell out and it does not let me inhale now. Well, yeah, that's the hard part. And the other hard part when you're doing anything in front of the camera, as opposed to letting the camera do all the looking for you, is remembering to look at the camera. Yeah, that's where I get shy, is all of a sudden I'm sitting here and I realize I'm doing this and I'm doing this. I'm looking everywhere else except there. If it's just a vape pen, there's a few good ones out there that you could probably pay $40 or less for it. If it's, or do you vape mouth to lung or do you vape direct to lung? Because there's a mouth to lung new one that I wanted to, I figured once I have my payday around the 19th, there's one that I want to just pick up and send off to somebody. It's called The Rock, and it only runs like $9, $10. But some of you probably know if it's something I'm not using, I tend to vape it forward. I don't have, quote, contests. My channel's not large enough for contests yet. But I have been known to pass vapes forward to people and help them get off the six. When you love people, we lost my father-in-law to lung cancer. We lost an adopted sister to lung cancer. I don't want to lose anybody else. What does mouth to lung mean? Well, when you smoke a cigarette, you inhale it into your mouth and then you take it into your lungs that way. From your mouth. Kind of a thing. But when you're going direct to lung, that's kind of like when I just plain inhale through this. You got okay. Awesome. You got one that didn't leak. I'll tell you what, Strange Destiny, I was back and forth from cigs back to the vape. Especially when it was just the iJoy little cigarette things. To me, that they just weren't satisfying. They just weren't. When I finally bought my first real vape, and it's probably sitting back here behind me, it was one like this. It was the Anti-Box by Kangertech. It's an all-in-one. And this one is actually the newer version. This one is the older Kupti. And you can mouth to lung this, or you can direct to lung this. You just take the airflow, if you can see that right there, and you can restrict that down to where you don't have that much airflow. you could mouth to lung that. But if you're a direct to lunger, then you just open up the airflow. And it's still a very satisfying vape, even for me. Yeah, the Kangertech, it's an all-in-one. It's a Kupti. The Kupti 2 is a big sucker like this. But this one is the bomb. It's easy to carry around. It only takes one battery. You can put 5 milliliters of e-liquid into it. When you fill it up, you only want it up to this line right here. And this needs liquid, but I've been kind of running this one out of liquid, so that's really the point right there. Once I'm out of liquid on this one, I'll be rinsing it out and setting it aside for a while because I've got something new coming. I really highly recommend this one, Strange Destiny. I think it runs, I can find out. I've got another computer running over here. Maybe I've got another computer running up here. Come on, wake up. Wake up! It might wake up sometime this week. I know that when I bought this, I bought one of them over at Vape It Up, and of course they have to charge you for their shipping and everything else, and I think it ran me I don't remember. I know generally if it's more than $45, I start going, you know. I mean, this one ran me 65 or 70. The new thingy that I have on the top of it was under 30. 32, I think, with the tax and shipping and everything else. But I only remember that because it was recent. My memory's only as long as my little finger. Okay, the Kupti at myvaporstore.com is running $49.95. That's not what I paid for it. Let's see if I can find it at. They only had the Kupti 2, and they've got that for $49. The Kupti 2 is a nice unit, but this one's so much handier. It really is. You can put it in a pocket. You can carry it. I mean, this is so portable. It's one of the reasons I still have it is because I can take it anywhere. And it's still a decent vape. I can put 5 milliliters in it. I can put some extra batteries in a pack and drag it around with me. And everything's safe, it's contained, and it's probably going to last me all day. So why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's definitely a no-brainer, and I gave one away not that long ago to a friend because it is such an easy vape. It's it's just an easy vape, and he was looking to quit, and he wants to blow clouds, and he's the one where I was talking about. Well, I was showing off for Will, my buddy Will, and I was blowing out this huge cloud, and this guy comes running up, and all I saw was the guy in the cloud, and I thought, oh God, I just blew this cloud on this dude. And my husband's laughing because the guy had run into the cloud just to see what I was vaping. Oh, I'm with you on that broke business. You know, the sad part about being retired is I only get paid once a month. So, you know, and it's not like I'm suddenly rich doing YouTube, and you know, if I ever make money at YouTube, it's probably going to be several years down the line, you know. So I didn't get into YouTube to make money. In fact, when I started this channel, I did it because a friend of mine sat there and said, you know, there aren't many vapors your age. And really, you should start a channel and you know, represent my age group more or less. Not so much that I'm suddenly going to be the best vaping channel out there. There's tons of them that are better than me. Tons. And most of them young. And vaping is for anyone who wants to get away from cigs. And a lot of people who need to get away from cigarettes are my age. And older and younger, but in my age bracket, you know, well, that's why I said, hey, I'm a baby boomer and I vape. And there's only one reason that's a big deal. It's because I'm a grandmother and I'm already a great grandmother. And it would be nice to be alive to be a great great grandmother. As long as that life is healthy and I'm productive and I can do things for my grandkids and be with them and play with them and enjoy them, why not? Why not? And that's what it was about for me. It wasn't about having, oh, you're in remission for cancer. What? I'm glad you're in remission. I'm sorry you ever had it. In some ways, I'm in a similar boat. I had leukoplakia forming in my mouth, and it was all precancerous, but it was still there, and some of it is still there, but it's a whole lot smaller than it had been, and I haven't had it removed, but I haven't had to. It's like a third of the size that it had been a year ago when I quit. So as long as I keep heading in the direction I'm heading, I'm in good shape. It was ovarian. I'm sorry that you went through that. How are you doing? How are you feeling in general? Well, thank you. She says, I'm so glad and thankful to hear you're doing good. Well, I am doing good. You know, I'm an old fart. I actually have breath. And I went through, I've been quit for just a year now. In fact, it's just a year now. And it's been an entire year without another bronchitis, without another pneumonia. And it's the first year I've had that since I moved to Cincinnati. That says quite a bit, you know. Too bad I didn't find this when I first moved here. I could look younger. Hey, I'm glad you're still here. I'm sorry that you went through all that. God. You know, you can think that you went through a lot of stuff. And yeah, we're all going through stuff. That's just life. But damn. Sweetie, I'm glad you're still here, and I'm sorry that you've had that kind of fun. But you're still here, and we'll both just keep on keeping on together, because that's the way we are. So there, you know. I mean, this lovely house that I'm in has been my bane this year. I have to either refinance it or sell it by October. And we're both thinking that we'd rather sell it because it's 3 floors. My husband has a pin in his hip. He already has problems getting up and down the stairs. I'm not getting younger. I don't have problems getting up and down the stairs. In fact, up and down the stairs is good exercise for me. But, you know, absolutely strange destiny. She says, no needs for sorry. In a way, I'm thankful. It made me change for good and appreciate so many things now. What made me appreciate life in general was my son. Uh, my oldest boy died when he was 19 when he passed. But before he passed, he had always been sickly. He always had stuff. Just seemed like every time we went into the doctor, there was more stuff he was going through. But when a kid is 7 and turns to you and says, he discovers that he's supposed to be dying, and he turns to you and says, well, every day that I have is another day God gave me, and I'll just have to be thankful for it. It just really changes your perspective. Sorry. He died over 20 years ago now, and every so often, it will just jump up and bite you as if it were yesterday. But between the ghost box and other things in my life, I do hear from him. In fact, as long as I'm in this mood, and if I cry some more, don't worry about it. I'm not made out of sugar. I won't melt, I promise. Uh, I'll tell you my favorite ghost story. Jeremy died in January, and Uh, I was just getting to where I was coming out a little more in February, and I really hadn't mourned much. I had a stepdaughter who had issues, and there was just stuff. Life always has stuff. But at any rate, my ex-husband decided that he was going to take us on a drive. And it was one of those drives where when he said drive, when he said little ride, we figured we were going to be gone for hours. We then learned that if he just said drive, pack underwear and makeup. So we went from where we were living in North Edwards, California, to Laughlin, Nevada by the time we were through. But on the way there, we stopped at these caves. And the caves had been somewhere Jeremy had always wanted to go, but before he died, he was on dialysis and there were machines to take and all this stuff. So when he had said that he had wanted to go, one of the thoughts that occurred to me was that he never would have made it to these caves. There was no way to haul him and all his stuff through this area that he wanted to go through. And that thought struck me while we were doing that. And then I come out into the sunshine and I see this view, and I was wondering whether or not he was seeing it with me, and that bothered me. And then, we get in the car and, Dale starts talking about dinner, and we're driving along and I look and I said, yeah, I know I'm dyslexic, but isn't home that way? And he says, yeah, but there's this great place I know for dinner. So we end up in Laughlin and we have dinner out and all these wonderful things and had a good time, did some gambling, did this, did that. And when we ended up staying for the night in Laughlin. Well, it had been a wonderful day, and all these thoughts and all these things had occurred to me throughout the day. And of course, all the memories that go along with all this stuff, and everything was still relating to Jeremy because it was still fresh, still new. And I started to cry myself to sleep. Well, I felt somebody take my hand. And I assumed it was my husband because somebody was taking my hand. And I opened my eyes, and there was Jeremy leaning over me, and he said, Mom, I would have stayed, but my body was no damn good. And of course, I was almost awake when this was said, but I was wide awake when that happened. And as soon as I was wide awake, I couldn't see him, but I could still feel him holding my hand. So I tell my husband, what's going on? And he said, well, I thought it was a fog over my eyes, but it's still there and it's still leaning over you. And I said, I know, he still has my hand. That sensation lasted for a good 5 minutes. Oh yeah, he'll always be with me, one way or another, even if it's just in my heart. I know that he does visit still. My son has stories, my daughter has stories. One thing he had said before he died was that he'd always be there when I needed him. And I think he really is. Yeah, I've been blessed. I know a lot of people never get that. A lot of people don't get it at all, and for them, there is no closure. There's no, and I think it's harder for them to lose somebody that close. I mean, Jeremy was blind, so he was literally attached to me by the elbow for years. Hey there, Kevin. But yeah, that's my ghost story. That's my favorite ghost story, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still into the paranormal. I was always into the paranormal because, like, for some people, it's just not a choice. That you know, that's a whole nother can of worms. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Are you putting? Is anybody? We have Kevin's life story in here. Is there anybody who's putting out anything new in the next couple of days? You know what I'm doing with this live stream, don't you? I'm procrastinating editing because the last one took me like 8 hours straight, and then a couple of breaks, and then more. So I don't think this one is as long, but it's just as jam-packed with things that I could pick up live, and when it comes to the EVP and that kind of stuff, there's just so much. You listen to it, you try it, and then you wonder whether or not you're hearing what you're hearing, and then you play it again. And okay, that's really what it says, and then you have to go back and put what you heard into one little spot that matches up with the video, and it's just very much a headache. Well, if you're sidetracked with art, Strange Destiny, you should take pictures of some of that art and stick it out there. I'd love to see it. EVPs. That will be awesome. Karaoke covers. I heard Danny's rendition of a Johnny Cash song a couple of days ago, and he did a nice job, didn't he? Danny's Off-Grid Flat. Well, if you're going to do an art sale on Facebook, Strange Destiny, you have to take the pictures and you have to create it as a slideshow and you have to put it out here on YouTube. And then just point them to your FB page. We'll just hate that. My silly dog is messing with me down here. That's what I'm doing over here. If this were a camera, I'd pick it up and show you this silly dog. I'm going to just have to take some pictures of him and stick them out there. Yes. The dolls haven't done anything. Okay, bye, Texas Little Star. The dolls haven't done a damn thing. I think they're being stubbornly, like, not haunted. Now, have I had other shit happen since? Yes. I went ahead and started working with what was happening because the dolls are sitting here going, well, you're trying to show us now. Well, screw you too. Oh, more than camera shy. They're just plain being stubborn. Ooh. What did I have hiding in there? That's a good one. This is the last of my dead presidents. Ha ha. I haven't gotten a Sigelli yet. Kevin's using a 213 Sigelli. This one is my Kangertech Poopty. Kevin, you missed it earlier when we were showing off the pulse on top of my Kangertech. This is an old Kangertech 160 drip, and I stuck the new pulse on top of it, and oh my gosh, just oh my gosh, that does so nicely. It's just a single coil, but I'll tell you what, that single coil kicks. You're worse than me. You're worse than me, Kevin. I collect them, sort of. Sort of. I collect them and then I pass them on. Yeah, but I'm not that rich. So I don't have tons of them at once. But have I become a hobbyist and have I started collecting? Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're worth it. There's worse things I could still be smoking. I was just saying, it's been a year. It's been just about a year now. In fact, now. And it's been a year without pneumonia, and it's been a year without bronchitis. I've had colds. They've stayed in my head. You know, but nothing's gone into my lungs like it was going for the longest time. I mean, it's the first time I've gone through a year in Ohio without having bronchitis or pneumonia or any of that for a full year. My husband's like, my God, I haven't had to drag you to the hospital for any of that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm still old. I still move slow, but I can breathe. Yay! Well, I was watching Homeboy Joss, and he's like, a mod is a mod is a mod. Oh, I'm 64. I'm not young, sweetie. Next year, I actually qualify for Medicare. Woohoo! I know the shocker for me was when I finally qualified for what do they call it out here? The golden Buckeye. The golden Buckeye. When they sent me my golden Buckeye, I kind of held it up for my friends, and they're like, "You're kidding?" No, no, I qualified for this. So, you know, now we go out to dinner, and they make me pull out my golden Buckeye, but they pay for my supper. So it's not just half price or whatever discounted price; it's free. Age is only a number for the most part. The only thing that I've noticed is that I've gotten slower. I talk slower. The first time I realized uh, how much slower I spoke was watching my own videos, and I'm like, my God, who's that? But do I feel the same? Do I think the same? Do I, yeah, all that's the same. And active? Eh, yes, no, maybe so. Just big shout out to Tony on the Pulse. That has made squonking worth doing again. Seriously. Uh, just awesome, awesome vape out of this. I don't chain vape. No, no. An EMF meter for like ghost hunting? Oh gosh, I've got a cat that does that. Well, you've seen Jake. He shows up in videos all the time because he either wants his love, he wants to be fed. Right now it's Scout doing that. Yes, yes. He's just a big sweetie. Yeah. I've got a K2. I've got an EMF. I've got uh, the temperature gun. I've got the new camera. I've got one, two, three voice recorders. And then I've got my apps. I want to get Ghostbox. That's my next goal. Uh, an SP7 or or the newer one, uh, whatever's cheaper because I'm not rich. Uh, I've seen them on Amazon. Oh, your house is haunted too. I'm dying to catch one of the shadow figures running around in here, but as the dolls have shown, these guys don't do their shit on command, or you know, they just do what they do. The K2s aren't too bad. I got mine from the place in Florida. in St. Augustine. I ordered it from them, and this one goes into sleep mode badly, but uh, you just bought what? Oh, just bought the house that you're living in? This house, when I bought it, the house itself was built in 1895. I knew it was haunted when we moved in. In fact, I literally walked into the house. I said, just let me walk in here by myself. I walked in here and I said, uh, you know, uh, I hope you don't mind sharing the house, kind of a thing. And uh, these would be my only rules, and da 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 da. And uh, basically, that's how it stayed. I mean, when we started moving in, uh, it's just my husband and I aren't tall. We're both short. Neither one of us is more than 5'4", and we're not incredibly muscular. Uh, I was a whole lot lighter and 17 years younger, but we had to do all this moving of furniture up these stairs. So we're hauling this couch up these stairs, and I started to go backwards on the stairs, and I felt this hand come to the small of my back and just push me upright. So I knew we were going to get along incredibly well with this ghost because he basically kept me from falling down the stairs. But yeah, and then when we were closing on this house, of course, you sit down with the old owners and the new owner and the bank, and you're all signing paperwork. And I told him, I know the house is haunted. I like it that way. And then he told me the story. The guy who lived here before with his sister had gone to, in the 70s, had gone to cross the street to where there used to be a phone booth to talk to a friend, call a friend. And he had just stepped off the porch, was caught in some gang gunfire, and died just off the porch. So, yeah, I was right. And there was somebody here, and he's still here, I think. He's not the only one that's here. I've got, from in this room, on that shelf, there are 2 boxes of ashes. One's my son, and the other's my mother-in-law. So, yeah. Oh, cool. They actually just started letting you do your own ghost hunter with equipment that they provide for you in Gettysburg in the battlefield at night. Then everything you record, you get to keep. That is freaking awesome. Now I need to go to Gettysburg. Water turns on and my kid got dragged out of bed. Oh God. No, I would be burning sage and yelling at things. I've been known to do that before. In fact, does anybody subscribe to Real Ghost Stories Online? If you heard the story about the broom lady, I'm the broom lady. I'm the lady who chased out a ghost with a broom. Do you live by it, Strange Destiny? Do you live by Gettysburg? I haven't had to burn sage or pour salt because the ghosts that we have in the house, I mean, I think if you've seen if you go to Creepy Karma, you only live 45 minutes away from it. Awesome. Okay, let me talk to my husband and see when we can get out that way. Um, and when we make that plan, I'll definitely let you know, and we'll just all go. Then we'll get to kill two birds with one stone. We'll get to do a ghost hunt and actually meet up. Well, and Pennsylvania is like next door. I'm what, maybe 6 hours away? 7? I drive slow, so 8. Well, if it's oil, I'm going to assume that it's going to be olive oil, maybe. Um, it sounds like somebody did a house blessing. It might have frankincense or myrrh in it. Oh, I'd love for you to show me around because, like, yeah, I'm almost in Kentucky. That's how far south I am in absolutely Strange Destiny. I mean, 7 or 8 hours. And of course, we'll probably stop and eat somewhere along the way. So we'll probably need like a 3-day weekend to do it because I don't drive in the dark much. I don't see at night anymore. Part of that's just I've got cataracts trying to get in here. Um, you could probably move that. I would actually at least check out what the oil is. If it's like, it's probably olive oil. It could have frankincense and myrrh in it. If it's a holy oil, I don't know. Uh, but what they do with that is they anoint windows and door jambs with it as they go through and bless a home. So it sounds like it's part of a house blessing. Um, you know, uh, or you could contact your local clergy and find out when the house was last blessed. Yeah, I've never been a speed demon. I was in my 30s and people used to complain that I drove like their grandmother. So, I haven't improved, not that way. Um, would it be a good idea to move that? Um, I don't think it's going to make anything worse. Uh, but because those sound like items that might have been used in a house blessing, I would at least check with local Catholic churches in particular because they tend to do that more, and see if they know of when the house was last blessed, and at least get a house blessing if they're willing to do that. Yeah, you can leave it there. You can pick it up. You can. It's not going to make anything worse, I don't think. But is it going to piss the ghost off? If your kid is already getting hauled out of bed, seriously, it's not going to get any worse. I would. I would definitely be burning sage and chasing something out. Get out the broom and lay out the salt. You know, I would be chasing something. I would be beating it up with a stick. That's for sure. You're not allowed to be. I mean, just tell it outright and don't be shy about it. I love the ones who sit here and the goes, "You have to leave because I don't want you getting." No, don't sit there and get shy about it. Tell that sucker, "Get the hell out of my house." Don't mess with it. Don't play with it. Don't sit there and go, "I might want you to leave." No, you want it gone. If it's going to be that kind of crazy, it belongs gone. Period. Don't be wussy about it, baby. Don't be wussy about it. Just tell it as it is. You don't belong here. You want to cause this kind of racket in my house, you don't belong here. Period. My house is friendly. It's been friendly from day one. And have nasties tried to get in here? A couple of times, yeah. Do I let that happen? No. Just remember that you and God make a majority, period. And God don't want you to put up with that stuff. That's against their rules. You know, you just tell them, no. And that's it. That's it. I don't play that stuff. She said, keeping it family friendly. My favorite phone app is the Portal. I like it best. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there, but I like that one best. I don't have a phone that does Android stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. For the ghosts, the only thing that I have that runs Androids is this, and that's nice because, like I said, I don't see as nicely as I used to. I tried the Vortex. That's just too slow. It works great for some people. Maybe my machine's too old. I don't know, but I can't get it to speed up where it's. But this is called the Portal app. It's what I've been using. It's become my go-to. And that's what it is. I don't know how well you can see it. And I'm in love with it because primarily it does backwards uh, syllables. So for it to go forwards, for it to speak forwards, it has to rearrange stuff. And really, if you hear forward speech, you know you've got an EVP. It's called the Portal. See at the top? Portal. I'm just holding it here until I see it on the camera because, you know, it's all lagged behind. There you go. And it looks like Huff's portal. It looks like Steve Huff's portal. It works pretty much like his portal works, and I run a external speaker with it, uh, mostly so that the camera can hear it better. I don't know if iPhone has it or not. Um, but it's my favorite. The one thing I found that while I was editing is I was getting some forward stuff. You know how you're going back and you're listening and you're then I would have to run things back, and when I would run things back, of course it's running backwards and I could still hear it because I've still got my headphones on, and it would say something else in that. So it was being manipulated two ways because the rest of it was gibberish going that way too, because it's just disjointed syllables. And trying to find a place to sit this back down again. Yes. But yeah, I started using that one, and I've used other things. I have other things, but that's become my favorite. It's the one I can hear the best. It's it makes the most sense for me, and you know, if you've listened to some of my stuff, and I think I've got like 3 of them, and I have footage that I never used that we're using other apps that between trying to pull out what they were saying and whatever, that's just been the easiest of the lot of it. Uh, I've used Equivox and it's good, but it's a paid app. Uh, what else have I used? Divination Box, it's good. I like using the pad because I can see it better. And what sucks? I see all that sucks. What sucks? You might be able to find something similar. Divination Box, I think that's primarily for phones. It's pretty good. I like it. Uh, there's a few EMF things that you can get free online. Same thing with your phone or whatever. Oh, they don't have the app for his phone. Um, I don't know about what they use on iPhones. I have no idea. I would get a K2. They're reasonable. You can tell when something's around. I've used it to communicate with things. Just basically yes and no answer kind of questions. Uh, I've used those a lot. I do have. I think the cheap EMF I got at. I got it at Harbor Freight and Tool. Uh, because you can get just regular EMF from electronic stuff, and you want to know about that too. So I had that. I've had expensive ones because there were electrical issues in my home at one point. Not here. Uh, Although that's amazing when you consider how old this place is and how many times it must have been rewired. Uh, but I had more problems when I lived right off the base in North Edwards, and that was primarily because the military would do stuff, and all of a sudden you'd see your lights go really bright, and that wasn't a ghost. That was the entire town being lit up by something that was on base. Well, we've been doing this for about 2 hours now, and I really should get on to some other stuff, and I might even get into editing the rest of that creepy karma video that I'm sitting here procrastinating on. Shame on me, but I am. Just the first one just wrecked me. Just wrecked me. I really had no idea how much fun that wasn't going to be. So now I'm wondering if I'm going to continue doing that, but I probably will because I do love to ghost hunt. I do have stuff go on, but is it a pain in the butt to edit? Oh, baby, is it ever? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for now and see you all really soon. Thank you so much for coming by. Love all of you. Thank you for making my day. You really do. I'll see you soon.